Hi, everybody. Welcome. Nikki here from North Carolina Zoo, your community education coordinator. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. I don't know if you guys figured out what we're going to be talking about today. I don't know if this is going to be distracting or not, but we're going to go with it. We're going to have fun with it. All right. So thank you guys for joining us for investigating invertebrates. Go over the quick rules. I know some of you probably have heard them already, but we'll just go over them really quick. You guys are unmuted for a reason, because if we had so many people talking at once, it'd be a little distracting. So we keep you guys muted for everybody's safety and enjoyment of the program. I'm going to be asking you guys lots of questions. So if you have an answer for me, I need you to type those in the chat box, okay? If you guys have questions for me, put those in the question and answer box or the Q&A box. And it's me, I've got Donna and Denise behind the scenes, and even I got I got Beth, I got Kathy, I got Bob. I'm trying to see who else I got helping behind the scenes answer questions. So I have a whole team of people to help me to answer some of those questions. We get a lot of them. You guys ask great questions and want to get those questions from you guys. So make sure to put those in the Q&A box and we will make sure to answer them for you. All right, you guys ready to get investigating? All right, here we go. Well, what is an invertebrate first, right? We're going to investigate invertebrates. Do you guys know what an invertebrate is? What are we going to be investigating? Or better yet, what is an invertebrate missing? Maybe that'll help you be able to answer that question. What an invertebrate is. Invertebrate. Big word. Big fancy science word. What are they saying, Miss Donna?
Spine.
A spine, right. They're missing their spine.
Backbone.
And what?
Backbone.
Backbones and spine, right? That big thing right up your middle. So scientists like to kind of group things, you know, like you guys do with your dresser at home, right? You have a drawer for socks, you have a drawer for your t-shirts, drawer for your pants or whatever. You know, they kind of organize things and put them into groups, likes together, right? Unless you're one of those crazy people who put your socks with your t-shirts, then yeah, I don't know what's wrong with you. But anyways, so that's what they do. They're organizing animals. So either, we're gonna do the invertebrate dance, ready? So you're either a vertebrate, you're standing tall, or you're an invertebrate, right? So are you a vertebrate? Or are you an invertebrate? What do you guys think? Type in, are you guys a vertebrate? Or you can do it yourself. Stand up straight. Or are you an invertebrate? With no backbone. What do you guys, what are we?
We're a vertebrate.
We're a vertebrate, yeah, absolutely. We have a spine running down the middle, holding us up, right? Giving us support, so we're not a puddle on the floor, absolutely. So we're gonna be investigating those critters without spine, those spineless things. But just because they have a spine doesn't mean they're not awesome or very cool, because you know what? 90% of all species in the entire world are invertebrates. So you thought humans rule the world? Oh no, guys. There are so many more invertebrates out there. So they're pretty awesome and they're pretty important. There's lots of different kinds. What do you guys think? So name, put in that chat box, some different invertebrates that you can think of. Some of those spineless animals. What are some different spineless animals? Let us know. Put that in your chat box. What do we got?
Octopus.
An octopus, absolutely. What else?
Fish.
Fish, well, actually, that's a good, some people get that confused. Fish actually do have spine. So they are a vertebrate animal. But it's a good guess. It's okay.
Ants.
What's that? Ants, yep, absolutely, no spine there.
Bees.
Bees, right, no spine there.
Ladybug.
Ladybug, no spine there, right. That's another invertebrate. Anything else?
Worm.
Worms, yep, absolutely. There's no spines there.
One person says snake.
A snake, a lot of people guess that. A lot of people say that. But snakes, believe it or not, are vertebrates. They actually have a backbone. They have a lot of backbone. They're almost all bad. What's that?
Starfish.
Starfish, right. Absolutely. They're invertebrates.
Leeches.
Leeches, yep, they're another invertebrate.
Centipede.
Centipede, good one, another invertebrate. Good job.
And we just got
Got some
jellyfish.
repeats. Jellyfish, yeah.
Millipedes.
Millipedes, right. Look at this. Some of your invertebrates live in the ocean. How's that look?
Looks good.
All right. So we got lots of invertebrates there.
Here's a clam.
Yeah, we got clams, all kinds of different ones. The jellyfish, starfish or sea stars, even coral. This one's so tiny, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Look at this little guy. Can we see it? Is it too dark? How's that looking? All right. Seahorse. Right? A lot of different critters are invertebrates. So we would be here all day talking about all the different kinds. So I'm going to concentrate on one group. Big fancy science word. You guys ready? Arthropods. Arthropods. Big fancy word. Basically, we can break down the word. So arthro, does anybody know, has anybody heard of arthritis? And what arthritis affects in us, in people? Like, oh, people like me. Sometimes I feel it in my hands. So it affects your
Joints.
joints, right? So arthritis affects your joints. So arthro means joints, all right? And pods, arthro, so jointed, and then pods, or pods, you can call it. Has anybody ever gone to a podiatrist? Podiatrist will look at your, let's see, I'm gonna have some help because I'm not regular bounced again, old. What are these? What is that? They're studying your what?
Feet.
Your feet, right? So they're a doctor of feet, looking at your feet. So arthro means jointed feet or legs, and that's what they have in common. So all your arthropods have like jointed legs, and they have a crunchy outer coating, kind of a hard shell covering their whole body. Does anybody know what that's called when you wear your skeleton on the outside of your body?
Exoskeleton.
Exoskeleton, absolutely. So your skeleton's on the outside, whereas ours, of course, is on the inside. So we can't really see ours unless we're on front of an x-ray. So an exoskeleton outside their body. So all arthropods have exoskeletons and jointed legs or arms, right? So that's what they have, all have in common. And the term I'm going to use are bugs. We'll say, call them bugs. Right, so it's kind of an umbrella thing. So it's not just insects, it's a bunch of different other groups in there too. So let's see, put a yes if you like bugs, put a no if you don't like bugs in that chat box. Let me know who likes bugs and who doesn't. Be honest, that's okay. There's no judging here. I'm gonna do something really quick. 50-50? Yeah, that's usually what it is. Some people enjoy them, some of them not so much. I'm gonna ask the question again, hopefully at the end. Perhaps, maybe I changed your mind a little bit, maybe, perhaps. You may not love them, maybe you have a little more respect for them, hopefully at the end. Hopefully that's my job, is to get you there. And the reason I'm gonna concentrate just on arthropods because they're actually the most diverse and largest group of animals in the world. And they can live just about anywhere, to the bottom of the ocean, to the Arctic ice. So they can live anywhere. So they're adapted for living just about any location, and they're all over the place. All right, guys, you ready to do some math? Got big math coming here. I don't know if my chat box can hold it all. All right, you ready? Okay. So for every one person in the world, there are 200 million bugs, those arthropods. So and there are 7.5 billion people on the planet, guys. So what is 7.5 billion times 200 million? Go. Something with a lot of zeros, right? You don't have to, like I said, I don't think we could fit all the zeros in our chat room. So that's a lot. So just to kind of wrap your brains about it to help wrap your brains around a little bit better, think about this. So everybody think in their head, a football field. How big is it? What's it look like? How big is a football field? Okay. Now, for every football field on the planet, there are 40 million bugs out there. Does that kind of help wrap your brain around that? There's a lot. Luckily, they're small and pretty well hidden most of the time, right? So there's a lot out there. So that means they're pretty important. Why do you think bugs are so important? Why am I doing a whole program just about bugs? What do you guys think? Any thoughts why bugs are important? Sometimes there's a little bit of a lag as they're typing. Can nobody think of a reason why bugs are important?
They decompress.
Decomposers, nice, right? Decomposers, cleaning up the world, or sometimes they're eating dead plants and animals, or in case this friend right here, let me know what another word for that is. They're cleaning up poop, right? So dung beetles, cleaning up the poop. Somebody's got to do it. It's kind of an important job because if you can imagine, if there were animals out there cleaning that up, because I don't know if you know this, but everybody poops. Everything poops. Think about those millions and millions of animals out there pooping. Somebody's got to clean it up. So yeah, important jobs, guys. What else? What else we got to why bugs are important?
Pollination.
Pollination. Nice job. Absolutely. What do they say? For every 1 in 3 bites you take, it's thanks to one of these critters pollinating our trees and our plants out there so that we have food to eat. So thank your pollinators. Did I get that? I'm going to ask my team of smart people behind there. Is that right? 1 in 3? I can't remember what the words, the exact is. 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 or something like that. For every bite you take is thanks to a pollinator. Let's see if they're gonna. they're much smarter than I am. Sometimes my brain doesn't always work on all cylinders. So, but yeah, super important pollinators. They're out there going out, eating the pollen, or not, drinking the nectar, and the pollen collects on their body, and then they take that pollen and they go to another plant, they drop off that pollen and pick up some new ones, and that dropping of the pollen of the new plant helps it to be able to grow into whatever it is, a seed, a fruit, a flower, whatever it needs to do. Yes?
Kathy said 1 in 3.
1 in 3, yay, hey, brain is still functioning. It's always nice to hear. Thank you, Kathy. So absolutely. So pollination, absolutely. So decomposers, cleanup crews, perfect. Pollinators, anything else they help us out you can think of? Has anybody out there eaten an arthropod? I have. Pretty tasty. Anyway, anybody? No, I think they're, well, are they? I don't remember. They're, how about lobsters and crabs, right? And believe it or not, some people in certain cultures of the world, insects are a great food source, right? So people, so they're a good food source. They're an important part of our food web because there, remember, there's so many out there. There are millions and millions and millions of them. So they're a giant food source for so many different animals all around the world. So if bugs disappeared, a lot of animals would be starving. And it would have a huge, massive impact on our whole world ecosystem. So bugs are super, super important for that. And even other bugs eat other bugs, kind of as pest controllers too. So that's a lot of important reasons why bugs are out. Let's see, we got some pretty cool examples here. Hard to see. We have our decomposers, your cleaner uppers. Thank you, Denise. We can get silk from bugs. We got, I'm trying to say, it's hard to read from ladybugs, eat other pests, your pollinators. Let's see, your dung beetles. So a lot of cool animals out there helping us out. And they're super important. Okay. So, very important. So, again, those arthropods, there's different groups of them, and we're going to meet a couple examples of them. Let's start with, get my gloves on. Let's start with, let's see how smart you guys are, our insect group. Okay. What makes an insect an insect? Do you guys know what the characteristics are? What do they need to be grouped as an insect? You know the answers?
6 legs.
6 legs, absolutely. Nice job. 6 legs. Anything else?
Antenna.
Antenna, yeah, that helps.
Compound eyes.
Oh, wow. Good.
No, Harper.
Right, we're good there, yeah. So, but there are other.
Yeah, but they've been answering with all their scientific.
Let's see if we can
Head, thorax, and abdomen.
Oh, nice job. 3 body parts, right. So the head, the thorax, and the abdomen on him. And he's got, hard to see it, 1, 2, 3, and then you have to trust me, there's 3 other legs on the outside. So 6 legs. And he does have some antennae. You can see those. Yeah, sometimes they break off. So yeah, this guy is huge. So he's, oh, he's got it tucked in. And so he's pretty massive. He's a big Madagascar hissing cockroach. And so he is definitely an insect. He has 3 body parts. And the head, some people think this is the head. The head is actually under there. So where you see the antenna coming off is actually the head. I don't know if it's kind of hard to, let's see. There we go. Let's get my hand. Oops, sorry. This antenna just hit there. So his head is tucked under there. It's a little bit dark. Sorry about that, guys. So the head's here. That's where the antenna are attached to. And then the legs are attached to the thorax, or the middle part. And then the abdomen on this guy, I don't know if it's easy. Actually, Denise, if you could put it over top, that would see if that might light it up a little bit better. We'll get some, there we go. We got spotlighted right there. So on his backside, I don't know if you guys can see these little kind of dark spots along his back. Those, I love this word, my favorite word. Those are called spiracles. Spiracles. They're basically the bug's lungs. That's what they use to breathe through. Kind of like their mouths or whatever. They kind of breathe through it. And so this is called a Madagascar hissing cockroach. So when he's scared, he's afraid something's going to come eat him, he forces air up those little holes, those spiracles, and it makes a little hissing noise. I don't know about you, if I were to pick up my burger and eat it, and all of a sudden it hissed at me, oh, you know, I'm probably not going to eat that burger. What about you? So it's a pretty good way of defending themselves. And so this guy, he's one of those decomposers. So super important job. He loves to eat dead and decaying plants. His antenna keep touching the lens. He's like, whoa, you know. And so they're those recyclers of the world, the detritivores we call them, and decomposing. So I like to say they're decomposing the world 1 poop at a time. So they're eating those dead plants. They're breaking down that food in their belly, and then they're pooping out nutrients back into the soil so more plants can grow. And then more animals can eat those plants, and the more animals can eat those animals, and so on around that cycle of life. So super important animals. Yes?
Are the spiracles air holes?
Yeah. Yep. So they're just little holes or tubes, and the end, the spiracles are the holes, and so they can actually open and close them. And so they can let in air, and they can also, it helps if they close them, it keeps the water from leaving too. So that keeps them moist too. So they can kind of control them just like we can our mouths, right? We can stop from breathing, we can close and not breathe, right? So they can kind of do that. So those are the spiracles there. So kind of like little mouths, I guess you could say.
This is a good question.
Yeah.
Is this hissing cockroach male or female?
Oh, very good question. So let me, he's being pretty calm, so I might be able to do two-handed handling. Look at that. Woo-hoo. All right. So I have a boy and I have a girl. I'm going to see if you guys can figure it out. So this, we'll call him 1, this guy over here, and then this will be 2. So which one do you think is the male, 1 or 2?
And while they're answering, another question has been asked as to why they're still just kind of hanging out on you. Why aren't they running away?
Well, that's why we like these particular type of animals as ambassadors, because they're pretty chill. They're like, yeah, whatever. They know we're not going to hurt them. And so they're just kind of whatever. Some of them have different personalities, and some of them will run away, but for the most part, they're pretty cool and calm, and they don't have wings, so we don't have to worry about them flying off. But we got lots of some 2s, saw some 1s too, a little bit of both. Well, if you said wood, you were correct. So the boys, sorry to get a good angle, my wrist doesn't want to bend that way. They have these little kind of like bumps on the top of their head. They almost look like horns. I don't know if you guys can see those. Whereas the girls don't really, theirs aren't very big or pronounced. Can you see? There we go. So she doesn't have them, but he does. You see that? So the boys have those horns, so they can kind of, just like a lot of time, like deer and other animals, use their horns to kind of fight with other males, all to look good for the ladies. So yeah.
So number 1 is the male.
So number 1 is the male. Right. Yeah. And number 2 is our female. Nice job. So yeah, so he's got the bigger bumps. And I've seen very large females, so size doesn't really matter. So a lot of times it's the girls that are bigger when I bring them out. Just depends on how old they are.
I have a message from Jen B. She says, I love hissing cockroaches now.
Yay! Woohoo! They're actually kind of cute. They're actually, of all the cockroaches, they're the cutest of the cockroaches, in my opinion, anyways. We have any other questions about our hissing cockroaches? Our insects, right? Because they have the 6 legs and the 3 body segments. Right. Nice job. All right, Fred and Ginger.
So why are you wearing gloves?
Good question. So it's more to protect them and also to help out our keepers that take care of them. So this way, if I have lotions or oils and stuff on my hand that's not getting on them, or a lot of hand sanitizer these days, we're using a lot of hand sanitizer, and that's not necessarily good for them. That could possibly harm them. Or I was petting my cats earlier. They might have had a flea treatment. Just things that would be on your hand you don't think about as you touch these animals. So it protects them. And then also with the coronavirus, we are being careful. You know, I don't want to, hopefully I don't. If I happen to have it and then I'm touching them and then the keepers touch them to put them back in their home, they could potentially get it. So these are just a nice extra protection for everybody, for them and us.
So are spiders the only insects like arthropods that have 2 body divisions?
Trying to think. There's probably not. So there's different arthropods have different body segments. Some have 3, some have 3, some have 3, some have 2, some have more. Some even have less. Some just have 1. I do believe there are other. I'm totally drawing a blank right now of other ones that have 2. It might come to me later. All right, so let's go on to. Should we go on to this guy?
That's also for talking.
What's that?
So that's also for talking about.
Right, absolutely. Since you brought it up, let's go into the arachnids, or the spiders.
And I guess while you're getting your gloves on, there is a question about how can the oils on our hands affect these animals?
Good question. No, that's a perfectly good question. You remember those? What did I call those? Their little mouths, or their bug lungs? We call them the spiracles, right? So if I have a lot of oils, it could potentially clog those holes, and then they won't be able to breathe. So yeah, so you gotta be careful. Yeah. I'm gonna bring them over here. Just makes it a little bit easier, and that way I'm not turning my back to you all the time. Might be off screen, but
No, you're still on screen.
okay, good. Hi, Gwen. Come on, say hi. There we go. Just gotta go slow. There she is. Here she is. Everybody say hi to Gwen. My hands are always so shaky, so I apologize. It's not the camera, it's me. So this is Gwen, and she is what we call an arachnid, which means she has how many legs? Well, let's count them. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Huh. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm getting 10. Well, that's because they have 8 legs, and then these 2 you see up front, this very first one, they're kind of a modified leg. We call them pedipalps, and they're more kind of of how she senses her environment, her world. So she uses them to kind of smell, taste, touch, all that good stuff, and that's how she uses them. So it's not really a leg. So she's tricked. She has 8 legs, 8 true legs. And how many body parts? She is an arachnid or a spider. Do we know how many body parts we got? Nice, 2, right, good job. So she's got the, We'll get that in a second. So she's got two body parts because the head and the thorax, or the chest part, it's kind of been merged into one. So we call that the cephalothorax, which means head chest. Cephalo means head, thorax means kind of chest. And then she's got that big abdomen. And she is very, very hairy, right? Why do you guys think she is so hairy? I'm gonna see what you guys think. Why do you think she has so many hairs all over her body? Her legs, her abdomen. And she's called the Chilean rose tarantula. Because if you look, it's kind of hard to see. Can we get to her spotlight? She needs a spotlight, huh, don't you? Oh, Miss Gwen. That way maybe you guys can see she's got that beautiful kind of rosy tinged color to her hairs. There we go. Keep warm, a little bit, yeah. But most of them are found kind of where it's in a warm habitat. So she's Chilean, which means she's in South America. Oh, yes. So that is one of them. So those hairs you see on her backside, on her abdomen, she uses those as a defense mechanism. They're called urticating hairs, big fancy science word. Basically, if something's gonna come bite her, she will use her back legs and kick them off. And they're very small, they're very pointy. They're like tiny little javelins. And if you imagine, again, we're going back to that burger. If you're gonna go eat a burger and all of a sudden it starts kicking hair into your mouth, your nose, your eyes, are you gonna wanna eat it? Probably not. So she's kicking those hairs as a defense mechanism. Right, absolutely. And then any other reason why she has so many hairs? Right, feel, sense, touch, absolutely. Sense when things are around her. Nice job.
So do those mini legs in the front also grab animals or prey?
They will help, right? So her first thing, what she'll do is she'll grab them with her fangs. So she's got big fangs underneath there. You can't really see them. They're underneath her body, or underneath her head, cephalothorax, what do you call it? And so that's what she's gonna grab. She's gonna bite and inject her venom, which will kind of paralyze the animal and then start digesting it too. And then she uses those front legs to kind of manipulate and hold it while she sucks out the fluids of the animal. So literally that venom and the stuff she injects in them will actually just turn that bug into a Slurpee. A nice little bug smoothie, and she slurps out the gross liquid bug.
Are fangs venomous?
They are, yep. She does have venomous fangs. So hers would be like being stung by a bee. It's gonna hurt physically, but it's not gonna kill me. Unless I'm maybe allergic to bees or something, I'm allergic to something that's in her venom and I have a reaction to it, it might harm me, but if I get to a hospital, I'll be fine. So yeah, and we like Gwen because she's used to people and this is what she does. So a lot of people have actually rose tarantulas as pets because they're just so chill. They're pretty calm for the most part. She knows we're not here to hurt her. She's comfortable. That's why if I go slow, I took a second to let her know that I wasn't there to hurt her. And I just let her slowly picked her up until she felt comfortable. And then she knows she's fine. She's pretty cool. So I'm not too worried about her biting me. And believe it or not, she and her other friends were the first spiders I ever handled or held. And so the first time I handled them, I was like, oh my God, I was afraid, but now nothing. I'm so used to it and they're pretty awesome. I've, knock on wood, never been bitten by one. All right, but my arm's getting tired. I'm holding her up there close. Whew. Any other questions about Miss Gwen?
How many eggs do they lay normally?
Oh, lots. I don't really know the specific numbers, but they will lay a lot. Because when they're small, a lot of your insects and bugs will lay a lot of eggs. Because when you're small, you're food for a lot of animals. So the more eggs you lay, the more chances of some of them growing up to become adults. So that's why they lay a lot, have a lot of babies. Any other questions?
How old is she?
She is, I think I just read it, 5 years old, if I do remember. So she is 5. So she's on the young side. So in rose tarantulas, the females, like Gwen here, can live anywhere from about 15 to 20 years. And this is where it doesn't pay to be a boy. The boy is only about sometimes 5, sometimes 10, about half the length of time. So yeah, pays to be a girl in the spider world. And they usually get a little bit bigger, the girls do. So yeah, because they live much longer. Any other questions?
Steve typed in and said they can have anywhere from hundreds to thousands of eggs.
Thank you, Steve. Hundreds to thousands of eggs. That's why I said a lot. And that's a lot. So you're right. So it just depends. And lots, every species, they have different numbers depending on the species. All right, I'm going to put Miss Gwen back. Starting to get a little bit active. There we go. I don't want her accidentally falling off, because if she fell out of my hands, because she is so big, she could, sorry, try not to turn my back to you guys, she could potentially not survive it. So that's why we are very careful with her. I don't want her falling to the ground. Even though she's got an exoskeleton to protect her, it's not enough, because, you know, that length of a fall for that small of an animal, that'd be like, I don't know, you jumping off maybe the Empire State Building? I don't really know. Something like that. So kind of that equivalent. So, all right. So we got insects. We got our spiders. And then, does anybody know? So we have our group of arachnids. Spiders are in there. Does anybody know another animal that's considered an arachnid? A lot of people, again, they have venom too, but theirs is not on the front end, it's on the back. There you go. Scorpions, right, are considered an arachnid. Or a spider. Where am I? There we are. I'm all over the place today. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Our next group, call them Myriapoda, Myriapodia, whatever. They like to give names that none of us are trying to pronounce. Many, poda means what? Do you guys remember? Feet, right? So many feet. Lots of feet. So it's a perfect, perfect description to our next friends. Oh, you guys are small. All right. Here we go. He's waking up. Here we go. Yeah, we need our spotlight. There we go. Look at all those many, many feet. Does anybody want to guess what kind of arthropod I got here? Watch it falling off there, sweetie.
Millipede?
Right, millipede. Nice job. I like that you didn't say centipede. Right, she is a millipede. Sorry. She doesn't want to hold still. There we go. Okay.
Someone said it's like a slinky.
She is. It is. It's kind of hard to hold them when they're active and try to get you guys close up to them. All right, Millie. I'm just going to call her Millie. So yeah, so they have many feet and also many body segments. So if you look at their body, they have all these little lines. Those are considered body segments, whereas our insects had 3. Our spiders have 2, and they have many. So many legs and many body segments. And the main difference between a millipede and a centipede is the amount of legs per body segment. So millipedes actually have 2 pairs or 4 legs per body segment. So each of those little segments you see has 4 legs. Whereas on a centipede, each of their segment only has 1 pair or 2 legs. So millipedes have twice as many legs. So milli means 1,000, but they don't usually get up to 1,000. Usually maybe they might top out about 400, 500. Now this is an African giant millipede, and they can get up to about 12 inches long, and they may get up to about 750 feet or legs. So nobody really ever gets to 1,000. But it's still a lot. That's a lot of shoes. I don't know about you guys. I can barely walk on 2. I can't imagine walking on all those legs. And if it looks like a wave when they walk, it's pretty cool to watch. And it feels kind of different. It feels like a Velcro is walking on me. If Velcro could walk, that's what it feels like. So it's kind of a neat little feeling. So they are definitely an arthropod. They have an exoskeleton and they have jointed legs. And so they're in their own group. Does anybody have a question about our friend Millie? The millipede, she's another one of those decomposers. So she's just like the cockroach. She's breaking down dead and decaying plants, putting nutrients back into the soil.
Can they lose legs and still live?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. They can. They can still get around if they have to. Any other questions?
Do people keep them as pets?
I think some people do, especially the African giants because they get so big and they're pretty cute. I think they're pretty cute.
Are they venomous?
So nope, that's another difference between millipedes and centipedes. So centipedes are carnivores, which means they eat other animals. So they're hunters. So they are venomous in order to kill their prey. Millipedes, like I said, are eating dead and decaying plants, so they don't need venom. But they do have a way of protecting them. They will curl up in a ball, like you saw when I first brought them out, and they will kind of secrete a substance on their exoskeleton that really kind of makes them taste really, really bad. And it probably would make you sick if you tried to lick it, but it's not going to hurt you. But it's a good way of protecting themselves. And so once an animal goes to eat them and they taste that and they're like, oh, those things taste horrible. I'm never going to eat one of those again. And then they'll teach their kids, oh, those taste horrible. Don't eat those. But what's really cool is monkeys in Africa discovered that if they poke and prod the millipedes and kind of get them to secrete that substance, and then they'll wipe that substance on their their fur, their hair, and it acts like a bug spray, a bug repellent, like a natural off, so it keeps other bugs off them. So how they figure that out, no idea. But it's pretty cool.
So Katie's kid wants to know if they are always shiny-ish.
It depends. There's different species. So some of them are, some of them aren't. The ones I see here in North Carolina are kind of cool. They're a little flatter, and then they have like a yellowish kind of fringe around the outside of them. And they're pretty neat. So, so different species of them. There's lots of different species of them. Remember I said there's so many bugs in the world? Yeah, insects in the world. So, arthropods, excuse me. We'll call them bugs. Yeah.
Jim B said that some millipedes smell like cherries when
Yeah.
they get scared.
Yep, that's that, I want to say cyanide, I think, the stuff they kind of secrete, which is also what's in cherries too, the middle of cherry pits. So yeah, so that gives them that smell.
So
Nice.
what do they eat again?
Oh, they are detritivores. Fancy word, what does that mean? You guys tell me. They're detritivores. So they eat, what do they like to eat? If you're a detritivore, you like to eat, I remember?
Decomposed matter.
Right, decomposing matter, dead and decaying plants. So yeah, you're a decomposer or a detritivore. Whoops. So dead and decaying plants. Any other questions?
So is there a species around here in North Carolina that can make their hands purple due to whatever they secrete?
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. There could be. Guys, I'm not an expert in invertebrates by any means because there's so many out there. There could be. I don't know. Our team of smart people maybe can find that out. That's a good question. I would like to know that. That's kind of cool. All right. I'm going to put Millie back. Millie? He's calling us. Hopefully they're not calling to complain. Oh, yeah, you made it this time. But it was trash over there.
Steve said some millipedes secrete a liquid that can turn hands purple. Not sure about these.
Oh, cool. See, I learned something new every day too. That's awesome. And of course, another group of arthropods. I don't have one, but you guys have probably seen them. Crabs, your lobsters. And then if you go out and how many of you guys have ever like picked up a log or ever even like picked up a pot or, took the trash out and underneath you saw these little tiny little gray balls. They curled up into balls when they're scared. You guys ever seen those? You guys know what they're called? What do you guys call them? I know they have so many different names. Everybody calls them different things.
I guess as they're answering, Charles has a question. Aren't, and I'm going to butcher the thing, detritivores a type of herbivore?
Yes. So detritivores are in that vertebrate, in that they're herbivores because they're eating plant matter, right? But they're specialized because they're eating dead plants, right?
Your question, some are called roly-polies
Yep, roly-polies,
and pillbugs.
pill bugs, right? Absolutely, roly-polies are pill bugs. They're actually a terrestrial crustacean, so they're related to your lobsters and your crabs, but they live on land. Which is kind of cool, huh? You didn't know that. New respect for your roly-polies, right? Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to test you guys now and see. I'm going to hold up an animal. You guys tell me. Insect, spider. We won't use the fancy word, arachnid. Or we'll just say other. It's the other one. So insect, spider, or other. All right. Let's see. Test your knowledge. I'm just going to use my fake ones. All right. What do you guys think? Is this an insect, a spider, or other?
Insect.
Insect. Right. Nice job. Right. 3 body segments, 6 pairs of legs coming off that middle part. Perfect. Nice job. Let's go with this one. Amazing. Other, right. Lots of legs, just like our millipede friend. Oh, thank you, Denise. Let's go with, oh, this is a tricky one. See if you guys can see it. It's hard to see. Sorry, it's so dark in here.
Mustard by saying other.
Like I said, this one's tricky. Does anybody know what this is, first of all?
One person said insect.
Right. So what is this? It's not an adult stage of this animal. It's what we call the larval stage.
Caterpillar?
It's a caterpillar, right? And a caterpillar turns into a pretty butterfly, right? Where is the pretty butterfly? And butterflies are what?
Insect.
Insects, right? See, that was a tricky one. Good job. Let's go. Let's do this one. Kind of hard to hold them up, not block anything. What do you guys think? Is that right? A spider. 8 legs, 2 body parts. Absolutely. Let's do one more.
Most of them are using arachnid.
Oh, good. What do you guys think about this one? I think these guys are so cool.
Insect.
Insect, right? 6 body. It's kind of hard to tell on some of them. Oh, thank you, Denise. All right, keep your spotlight out. Let's see. How about? Ugh. It's gonna be hard to tell. Let's see. Can you guys see in there? Can you find it? That's half the battle. Can you see it? It's massive.
It's an insect.
It is an insect. Does anybody know what kind of insect?
Stick insect?
A stick insect, right? Looks just like a giant stick. And he's huge, right? And we have them around here. They just don't get this big, thankfully. Let's see. What else we got? Ooh, he's pretty cool. I know the microphone always gets in the way. What do you guys think? Insect, right? And he's pretty cool. He's a leaf insect because he looks just like a leaf. So they come in all shapes and sizes. Like I said, you talked about they're the most diverse group. There's so many different shapes and sizes, and they live anywhere and adapt to just about any environment. So pretty amazing. So I'm going to ask you guys again, how many of you guys like bugs? Did I change anybody's mind? I love that somebody said they like Madagascar hissy cockroaches now. Did anybody else change their mind? I see some no's. That's okay. As long as you may not love them, but you have a little more respect for them. So maybe next time you see a spider walking across your room, just leave it alone. Got a job. He's one of those pest controllers, like Gwen that you met earlier, likes to eat other insects, keeping the pest population down, right? Those insects that kind of are pests, like that, or there's too many of them, so they're keeping those populations in check. So very important job. So keep that in mind before you squish them.
Emily has a huge all caps yes with tons of exclamation points.
Yay! Absolutely. If you want to make your own Millie the Millipede, you guys can do this. So I created this. He's cute. All you need is a paper towel roll or a couple. I used 3 toilet paper rolls. Cut them in half, and you can tape the ends together. Then I just kind of rounded off the ends, made some fringe on the tip, gave him some eyes, a nose, and some antenna. And I created the segments. Look at that. So I even have, look at that, 2 legs or 4 legs per body segment. That's how accurate I went. So you can do that. Another homework project. Go outside, guys. Go look for those go investigate those invertebrates. And you can go in a pond or a stream. Believe it or not, a lot of them live underwater. In our backyard ponds and streams, you'll find baby dragonflies. Lots of baby insects spend their first part of their lives underwater. And so you can investigate, and they tell us how healthy the water is. So scientists will actually study ponds, and they find certain bugs, they know it's healthier. If they find some other ones, they know, okay, it's not as healthy because they're more tolerable of different conditions, whereas other ones are more sensitive. And so they can tell how healthy a stream or a pond or body water is. If you have ice cube trays, you can put your bugs in those. If you have, grab some spoons, and you can dig them up or pick them up sometimes. They'd be very gentle though, and dig them up. If you have, these are always fun. I like these bug boxes. So you can put them in, and there's a little magnifying lens. Okay. If you have like any kind of like clear container, you can put them in and just check them out. Investigate, look at them, take a picture, maybe write down what you saw, and then release them. Put them back, because that's where they belong. They're doing their job out there in the world. You can get a bucket for dipping in the pond to find your inverts. Get a little fish net. I've got magnifying glasses, all kinds of cool stuff you guys can go and investigate your invertebrates and find some fun things and see what's in your backyard that you maybe didn't know it was there. Remember, those 40 million per acre of land, guys. They're out there. So go out, investigate, have fun. Do we have any questions? One last questions before we head out? All right. Well, thank you guys so much for helping me investigate our invertebrates. Join us next week. Janice is going to be doing our program next week, and we're going to go on our river adventure. All right, guys. Have fun, or have a good day, and stay safe. Bye, guys.